Hey everybody, welcome back to Hawks DIY. Well, it's early Monday morning and it's March 3rd, so March 2025 is officially here. And so in my last video, you seen that I had multiple codes that come up on the scanner on the 2014 Nissan Frontier. Well, it lasted for about 2 days and then the check engine light come back on. But this time it's just one code, and it's the P0130 code indicating a malfunction with the O2 sensor on bank 1. So we're going to dig into that today and see what we find. Alright guys, well I picked a good day to do this. It's going to be low 60s today, so that's pretty cool. I think it's going to be really windy tomorrow though, so I thought I'd better get on this today. But anyway, I got the truck running and we'll just slip in here and we'll go ahead and run this diagnostics. That way I can show you what it's doing. So we're just going to go in diagnostics here and let it do its thing, and hopefully we can get this done today, I'm hoping. But it's still in the P0130 code, and I want to do this scan because I just want to verify and make sure. It's always good to do multiple scans. But we'll do, let's do, I think it was on this one. So we'll let it do its thing. Yeah, I'd already found it right there. So we'll let it do its thing. And see, you could clearly see my check engine lights back on. So it lasted a couple days. I had multiple codes on the last video, and so now we're up to 47%. So it's pretty good progress. But I'll come back whenever this is completed. Well, actually, it's going pretty fast. Let's just wait. There it goes right there. Okay, so the result, and probably can't see this worth a darn, but the result, we've got, what did I do? Okay, I finally got it. But here it is, the P0130 code. Let's see, web search, what's it say? It says causes and fixes, not Nissan P0130 code, O2 sensor circuit malfunction. Bank 1, sensor 1. So that's what we've got going on. So what we're gonna do, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here and we're going to locate the fuse for the O2 sensor, and we're going to check the fuse first. So it's probably if it's a malfunction, it's got to be a bad fuse, some faulty wiring, bad wiring, or it could be a bad O2 sensor on bank 1. So that's pretty much your options. So anyway, let's figure out which one of these fuses that we have to pull, and we'll pull it and see if the fuse is any good. So that's what we're going to do next. All right, before we get started, don't pull any fuses out of the box until you take this negative cable off. It's just safe thing to do. So I'm going to get this negative cable off of here. And then I snapped a picture of the numbering on the fuses. So I'll just inspect that picture and see which fuse we got to pull. So we'll do that here in a minute. There's that loud car. Oh man, it gets on my nerves. So anyway, here is the, it was on F17. That's where the O2 sensor, the fuse for the O2 sensor is located. So we're going to pull that one and inspect it. I may just go ahead and replace it, because you know fuses are cheap. So we'll do that first and see if that gets rid of the light, because it very well could be a fuse. So anyway, I doubt that, and the reason I say that though is because we're only having the issue on bank 1. Well, this fuse has got to cover bank 2 as well. It's for the whole entire circuit. So I'm going to look at it anyway, just for good measure. And then if you look closer down below here, you can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but right down here, you can actually see, there it is, right? Well, let me get the light fixed here. Can't see nothing. Right there. So if you look straight down there, that's the upstream O2 sensor. So that's the one that's throwing the code. It's bank 1, sensor 1. Alright guys, I got the fuse out of there. It looks fine, just as I predicted, but you just never know. So I went ahead and threw a new one in, and we're going to start this up, and just for good measure, we're going to start it up and see if it'll clear. So here we go. Well, won't you just look at it? Are you kidding me? A dang fuse. Well, let's let it run a while, and then I'll come back and let you know if I fixed it or not. I'll be shocked if that's what it is. All right, guys and gals. Looky there. No check engine light. And I went ahead and ran a scan, and we're good to go there. No trouble codes. So I'm going to run another scan though, just to verify we're all good. I'm going to do a full system scan, and we'll do that. We'll verify we're all good to go. It seems to be running smooth, so we'll give it a few more minutes and then see how she acts after that. But first thing I wanted to share with you too, you know, you may be asking, well, what is an O2 sensor? All right, I thought I'd talk a little bit about the O2 sensor and just explain what it does. It measures the amount of oxygen that's burned off after combustion. And so it sends that information to the PCM, the powertrain control module. And so basically, if it's not sending the right information, obviously it's going to send, the ECM is going to try to send the wrong fuel mixture to your cylinder. So that's just a short explanation of what they do. Now you'll have an upstream O2 sensor and you'll have a downstream. And the upstream is before the catalytic converter and the downstream is after the catalytic converter. So there, you've got actually two of them that are sending information to the PCM. So I just wanted to explain that real fast. All right, everybody, I ran a scan and basically it found two more codes on the ECM, and these are the same two codes that I was getting before that whenever I changed the spark plugs and the coils. Well, these two codes come up again, P0130 and P0130C. Now the P0130D is saying that it's the PCM is not receiving a normal response from the oxygen sensor. And then the other one is the P0140C. That is related to the fuel injectors, I believe. So we're basically down to two scenarios here. So the way I see it, it's either the oxygen sensor or it's some fuel injectors on the bank one fuel rail. So I think the first thing I should do is go ahead and test the oxygen sensor, verify that it's still good. So for me to do that, I'm going to need to take this front tire off, and I'll have easy access to the sensor, and then we'll test it and find out if it's even working. If I test it and find out that it's good, then I know it's the fuel injectors at that point. So let me get started. I'm going to have to get a jack and jack this truck up and get this tire off. So let's get going, I guess. All right, everybody, change of plans. I thought about it a little further and I did some research, and I think what I'm going to do, since these O2 sensors lifespan is about 100,000 miles, so this one's got 70,000 miles on it, so I got to thinking about it. Instead of pulling this off now, we've got some rain coming tomorrow and high winds, and I don't want this thing to be up on the jack during that. So and being that it's already got 70,000 miles on the O2 sensor, I may as well go ahead and just replace it. Now the great thing about that is, you know, if I still have an issue, then I know it is the fuel injectors. If the O2 sensor is still good, well then I just got an extra O2 sensor in case the other one goes out, because you got two upstream sensors and the same part fits both sides. So I'll just have an extra sensor, but I'm pretty sure it's the O2 sensor. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So I just figured, man, it's already got 70,000 miles on it. The darn thing ain't got much life left in it anyway. I might as well just change it. So that's the plan. So I'm gonna have to order it because they're expensive. Locally, you're gonna pay $160, $180, $200. So I'm gonna order it from Rock Auto and get it for like $110. So it'll be a few days before I get it, but until then, I guess I'll just do some more research and make sure I have my ducks in a row whenever I get it here. So anyway, we'll talk to you then. Well, it's the next day, and I got the O2 sensor ordered on Rock Auto. So UPS will deliver it Thursday. So until then, I got to thinking I need to make sure to get all these batteries charged so that I can start going fishing. And I kind of had to put a stop to the fishing videos over on Hooks That Hawk because of winter and just I've had too much stuff going on, man. It's just been kind of overwhelming, really. So anyway, I'm gonna make sure these batteries are charged up. I noticed that when I opened my bay, look how bad that positive terminal on my lithium battery looks. So I could do a little cleaning today, and I don't know, these one thing I'll say while we're in here is these I put lock washers on all of my terminals. So these, you know, when you're going down a lake, these things will back out on you. And so I put lock washers on them, and they work great. They never back out. And there's that loud car again. Gets on my nerves. Listen to that. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And he'll show up at like 10 o'clock at night and just let it run for like 45 minutes. You know, it just drives you crazy. But anyway, that's what I'm doing today. So until Thursday, I'm not going to be able to get back on the truck. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you a little update. All right, I got her plugged up. Got the power run to her. My banks are charging. I don't know if you can see them or not. But I got the banks charging down there. And so I'm going to get started on this lithium battery. I got me some wrenches, and I'm going to clean them things up. I'll probably have to check my lithium battery up front of my rod locker for my front graph. I'll have to check that one too. So I'm just going to do stuff like this today. It's supposed to be really windy. You can see the treetops are blowing pretty good. So it's just now started. But it's supposed to be like 40 or 45 mile an hour winds today. So, yay, woohoo. All right, guys, the wind's really picking up now. I got the battery terminal cleaned on that lithium battery, so we're good to go there. I thought it'd be a good time to just go ahead and update my graph. Since Humminbird just released the new Explorer graphs, and they got their new forward-facing sonar now. This is I've got Solix graphs. So since they've released the Explorer, they've issued updates for the Solixes. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done today. It's kind of a bummer because they did away with the Solix. It's now called the Explorer. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Just kind of knocking things out that I need to do until I get that oxygen sensor. So anyway, all right, guys and gals, well, I went out on Hummingbird's website, and we've got the version I have currently is this 4.210, and that came out in December of 23. But the current version, they just issued version 5.080 11 days ago. but I need to update to the 5.060 before I can update the current version. So I've got the 5.060, I've got it already on my card, and I'm going to go ahead and get it updated. And then I'll have to do this for the front graph too. So this is going to take a little while. Kind of a bummer. It's coming up on lunch, and I'm getting hungry. So anyway, I'm going to start updating this and then go get me something to eat. All right, guys, I got it installing. So it's real easy. You just put the SD card in after you've got the graph booted up. You just pop in the SD card and it'll automatically come up and ask you to install software. So it's real easy. So I'm going to get this version updated on here, and then I'll have to do the other one too. So from what I understand, it takes quite some time because this I know the current update, the 5.080, is 1.7 gig file. So it's pretty large, and I imagine this one is too. So now it's time to go get some lunch. Well, it updated, so now I got to go through all of this and do whatever I need to do. So anyway, I got that one updated. So now, once I go through all these screens and get everything worked out, then I got to go to the next update. All right, well, this is the home screen. So I just thought I'd show you real fast how you can check what version you have on your Humminbird unit. Just go to settings, and then I've already got it on system tab there on the left, and then you just go to system info, and then it's listed right there. So I've got software version 5.060, which was released on November 6, 2024. So there you go. All right, ladies and gents, I got the front graph. I'm starting to update it. So, got this going. And I noticed, man, it's like serious wind. I mean, it's windy out here, and it's starting to cloud up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this, and then we're going to eat some lunch. Me and Jeff are going to eat some lunch here in a second, and then I'm going to have to just I may have to call an audible. We may be getting some rain. So anyway, I'll come back to you whenever I start updating this on the second round of updates. All right, guys, had me some lunch, man. It was good. Had an ham, egg, and cheese sandwich on toast. Man, it was good. You know, I'm not big on toast, but, you know, egg, ham, and cheese is pretty good on toast. So anyway, I got the front graph is updated now. This is updated to the first version that I had to update to. System info. So we're at software version 5.060. So that'll put both graphs up to date. So now I'm ready for the last version. So I'll have to dump this memory card and go get the new version. All right, guys, I got an update here. I was wrong. That second version, 5.060, is the one that has the large file size. It's 1.7 gig. The latest version that they released 11 days ago is only It's in the megabyte range, so it's not near as big of an update. I just wanted to let you know that. And I'm getting ready to put the last update in, so we'll get that done and we'll be good to go. All right, guys, on that big update, I didn't show you how to actually do the install. And so on this one, I'll show it to you. Basically, you're just gonna, put that file from the Humminbird website, put it on a memory card or SD card, and you just put it in, and it'll automatically come up, and it'll ask you, new software version is available. Would you like to install version 5.080? And of course, install. So there's nothing to it. It's just a matter of taking your SD card and going to their website and placing the update on the card and then bringing it out here to your graphs. That's all there is to it. All right, I've got both graphs updated. So there's software version 5.080, released January 8th, 2025. And here's the front graph. And it says the very same thing. So we're good to go. I got that done today. So while I was waiting for that O2 sensor, so I guess I'm gonna put the cover back on this boat because we got some rain coming. And then I guess we'll talk to you whenever I get that O2 sensor. Well, it's Friday and the new O2 sensor's here, so we can get started on that. And I've already got the jacks out. I'm gonna get started on jacking this truck up and getting this front tire off. We're gonna take that front tire off and then take the wheel shroud out, and then we'll have direct access to the O2 sensor. So I got a NTK oxygen sensor, and it's an upstream, and this is an NTK 24783 that we're going to be installing. So I'm excited. I'm ready to get this done so that we can go do that. You know what I mean? All right, guys and gals, I got the truck jacked up, got the tire removed. I really like that 12-ton jack. And also, guys, if you ever do this, be safe. Now that we're talking about it, be safe. I've got this 3-ton jack, Daytona jack, I'm using in conjunction with this 12-ton, and that way everything stays really secure. But here we go. I got the here's the oxygen sensor right here. And so we've got to get that one removed and get the new one installed. And then it connects right up here. I don't know if you, there it is right there. You see it? So we'll have to remove that connection. And then this uses a 7/8 open-ended wrench. And see, you got this flange here, and you also got this flange over here. So it's a little hard to get to. So I'm gonna start with getting this thing out of here, and then we'll install that new one. Also, guys, don't forget to take your negative battery cable off before you get started. So we're gonna go ahead and get that done. And then that'll cut off. You just don't want any power running to it while you're working on it. So we'll take that off and we're ready to go. All right, I got the the plug pulled off, and I tried to test it, but it's a little hard to test with it still on the truck. So we're going to go ahead now and try to get that thing loosened up. Now here's the thing I wanted to show you here is you got to use this big old 7/8 inch wrench, and you got to slip that dude up there in between the frame and the engine. Now I don't know how this is going to work, but I can tell you right now, this ain't going to be fun. So instead of showing you me getting frustrated repeatedly, I'm just going to go ahead and work on it and try to get this thing off here so we can test it. It's always good when a plan works. I got it out, and basically I used a rubber mallet, just banged on that wrench, and she come loose. But here is the O2 sensor, and it's what it looks like. And I looked on here, it says on the side here, right there, I turn this around, it says, where's it at? Come on now, there it is. If you look real close there, it says Nissan Denso, and then it's got a number. But this is a Denso brand oxygen sensor. I think these are like about $240 plus tax. So these ain't cheap. Now, the one I'm putting in here is, like I said, is an NTK. So anyway, let's figure out if there's a way. I know there's a way to test this, but let's see if my tests were correct. I tested it a few minutes ago, and I wasn't getting any ohm resistance. So let me see if I can come up with a better way to do that test, because I wasn't really convinced with it. All right. Well, I had to kind of give up on the multimeter test with the ohm resistance because multimeter was acting kind of wonky. So anyway, I've got the new sensor prepped up. I had to put a little bit of a insulation on this end because they stopped with the insulation like right up here. It was just open wires. So anyway, I did that, and I also wanted to show you that there'll be this is a 4-wire sensor. Okay, so you're gonna have 2 hot wires and 2 grounds. Okay, you're gonna have one hot wire that is gonna be the signal coming from the PCM, and then you're gonna have one ground from the PCM, and then you're gonna have 2 other wires that service the heating element. So this oxygen sensor has a heating element inside of it. And so those 2 wires serve that purpose. Now, you can see they got a plastic sleeve around the threads. They pre-lube these with anti-seize grease, and that keeps it from, you know, you got to think it's going inside, it's going in that exhaust there, and so it's going to be you know, over time that's going to get corroded. It's going to get, you know, it could get just in there rock solid, and you won't be able to get that off. So anyway, that's already put on the O2 sensor just straight out of the box. So I just thought I'd mention that. And then anyway, since I'm not going to test it, I'm just going to go ahead and get this new one put in. You know, we got 70,000 miles on the old one, and we know the bank one, sensor one is throwing a code. So anyway, we will go ahead and get this put in here and move forward. Hey, also guys, on these oxygen sensors, do not drop them, because you could potentially damage the ceramic cell inside of them. So yeah, be very careful with them. And so I'm getting ready to put this in. And also, when you put them in, you only have to put them in finger tight. And then after that, just take your wrench and turn them a half to 3/4 of a turn, and that's it. That's all you got to do. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. All right, I got it threaded in, and so I think what I'm going to do, I've got it finger tight right now. I think what I'm going to do is take a permanent marker, and I'm going to make a mark right here on this little knot right here. And I know that mark's there, so I can see it. We'll get it a little better maybe. Now I know that's where my mark is, so now I'll turn it about a half to 3/4 of a turn and we'll be good to go. All right, fellas and fellas, I got the new O2 sensor installed. Got it plugged in over there. So that's all ready to go. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get the shroud put back on, get the tire put back on so I can get this truck off the jacks. And then we'll start this thing up and see if this solves our problem. All right, ladies and gents, I got the tire back on and everything buttoned up. I'm gonna put the negative cable back on, and then we're gonna start this motor up, let it get to operating temperature. Then I'll take another scan. And I also wanted to mention that that NTK O2 sensor that I bought it cost me $133. That was shipping, taxes, and everything. So I think the cheapest one locally I could find was like $162 plus taxes. So there you go. So anyway, let me start this up. We'll get her up to operating temperature and see what we can find out. All right, guys, I got her close to operating temperature, and I've noticed that, man, she's just running really smooth. So that's a pretty cool deal. A lot smoother. I can tell it's running great. So coming in here, there's no check engine light. Of course, you know, it has to run through a cycle before it would throw anything, unless it's something major. But man, just sitting in the truck, I can just feel it. It's just much smoother. I mean, just a big difference. So I think that indeed was the problem. But we're gonna run the Icon T7 here as soon as we get up to operating temperature, which I think we're pretty much there. It's showing almost 3 o'clock, or well, 4 o'clock, I guess. So let's hook this thing up, and as soon as I get done with the scan, then I'll come back. Well, success. I've got the only code that it threw was the body control module trouble codes there's 4, and that's of course tire pressures, which I still haven't taken care of. But that's the only codes that it's showing. So we're good to go, finally. All right, guys and gals, that's another project in the books. So I'm pretty happy. I'm glad I don't have anything wrong with the fuel injectors because nobody likes to work on them. So anyway, I'm glad everything worked out. We're good to go. And if you like this content, please like and subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. Really helps out the channel. Got some more projects coming here. Looking forward to an exciting year. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.